Hey traders, hello and welcome to another edition of Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis. I hope you're all well and fine. We had a pause in the last week's stream because of the Thanksgiving holiday in the US, and this week we will catch up with, as usual, a little bit of a macro overview. We're going to look what is going on a 10-year yield, also in the 10-year bond. We will also look what is going on gold and some of the currencies. I will cover some of the currencies in relation of the US dollar because of the specific things that I see. And then we will switch to crypto space and go over what I see according to the methodology we use at Trading Analysis, what is lately going on. As usual, you can leave your comments or requests for your favorite crypto pair in the chat box, so that we can go over them when the main presentation is complete. So try to keep your requests to one pair because there is I think 18, 20 or even more people. So in that respect, I would like to catch up for more guys, some of the cryptos they would like to see, at least from the perspective that we are looking them. Jamestown Wiki, dobar dan, Alexander, kako si? Dobro sam, hvala. Obviously, foreign name, but domestic Serbian language. Okay, guys, so let's start in and let's go and look what is going on a macro scene. We will start with the 10-year yields as usual. I'm going to glare charts so you can see them. And basically, situation here, since we didn't cover it last week, didn't change much. We are looking these 10-year yields to continue a little bit more on the upside towards this 2%. This wave 4. Which I originally think it will start and actually complete here, had a little bit more of development. So I still count this as a potential ABC, and I'm looking rates to continue higher towards this 2%. We have a Fed meeting on the 15th of December, and Fed signaled that they're gonna start to unwind even more tapering, or as they call tapering, in the monthly purchases of the assets they do. So in that respect, I still think that we are going to see a little bit more upside in rates up to this equality. So we have a measured move here in an A, down in B, and up in C, and these two moves are equal around 2.016, which is actually an upper resistance here, as you can see. So relatively not big trouble of a wave count. It should work, or this wave 4 might turn into a little bit of a triangle, kind of a sideways affair, and then actually starts to move on the upside in the respect of this resistance around 2%. If we break this 2%, the things will become a little bit more difficult in regards of rates. Next resistance, as you can see, is around 3.3. So then we will have to change our wave count and count this more impulsively on the upside, actually labeling this as a 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5, which will indicate that in 2022 the rates will continue sizably higher that we are trading now, and that will have, of course, a major implication over a number of different assets classes. So let's go one wave at a time. So for now, we still are looking for a move on the upside up to this 2%, and I think that will be terminal. So my kind of a scenario, looking all of this bottleneck, supply side, inflation, and COVID still starting to be more of a menace in the winter time. I still don't think that the rates might go on the upside. Fed might do something in respect. I don't know if they're going to embark on a yield curve control. we are still not close to that decision, but in general, I would look, as the overall trend shows, that the inflation is starting to creep a little bit lower, maybe for this X wave and then up in the Y wave, which will cover basically 2022 and even half of 2023. But this is just a hypothesis. I really don't know yet in regards of what pattern is going to develop here. So for now, we are going to continue to watch this as an ABC on the upside with the resistance on the 2% level, and from there we expect at least the beginning of some type of a correction. On the downside, that can actually happen in the next months or two, so maybe February, March next year. So we will see. This rates does not move so quickly as the other assets classes. So in the European front, we are looking a price, so this is not yield, it's a price, just because the chart is a little bit more visible in regards of the wave structure. So I'm still looking this as a complete wave 3. We are consolidating here. This does not look impulsive on the downside, so I see a potential triangle or a more complex correction here. And I think this support zone at 157, 160 will definitely hold for now, and this will be my key levels to watch. And I think that after we sort out this bottleneck supply side in a year or year and a half, depends how COVID quickly can get under control, we will still go due to a more secular deflationary trends governed by demographics and technology, that we are going to continue up on the upside in this deflationary environment. So I will still look this to go on for some time, and then most likely we're going to see one more push on the upside in this deflationary environment. Wherever you see a wave 4 out of this type of a trend line, because it's a pretty nice trend line, I don't look much trend lines in a sense of a decision-making thing. They are very good as a secondary indication, so we also use them as a secondary indication. As you can see here, they kept pretty nicely movement on the upside from the upper trend line, and that's kind of a thing you usually are going to see. And in that respect, it is completely natural from the any type of a wave 4, either a triangle or a complex correction, that you go out of this primary channel that was actually keeping the price fluctuating under certain span of percentage change on the downside and on the upside, as you can see. So this is a completely natural phenomenon for the wave 4, which is usually a sideway or a more complex directional affair, which comes to the previous wave 4, usually just a little bit of an Elliott wave kind of a details. And in that respect, I will still look move on the upside. So let's start and see something which I will pay attention on this. I will show you that before I go to dollar index. I want to show you the chart of the Dow Jones Industrial from the recent high. So definitely this looks like a 5-way move from the recent top. You can squeeze a relatively nice 5-way move from these highs here, which actually implies that after some corrective pullback, we might actually continue further down, at least in a measured move or something bigger. Okay, so I do expect a little bit of pullback here, and then after, I will expect Dow Jones to make another move down, at least in a measured move, which is an indication that the stocks are still not completed their correction, and we might be facing a little bit more downside. And if this downside starts to be more prolonged one, then we will have to turn more bearish on stocks. All depends exactly what this pattern will do on the downside. If we get a measure move and then a move on the upside, definitely we will treat this as an ABC. But if we start to push further beyond a quality measure, then things might become pretty much interesting on the stock market, which as well we connect with cryptos, as you know. So let me switch to dollar index. So dollar index is still working out to our path. I was very vocal that these levels might not be all, because there is only 3 waves up, as you can see here. So the whole dollar index wave count for now goes for a 5-wave move down with a small truncation from 2020 March COVID crisis start, when the Fed emergency cut it a couple of times rates down almost to zero. And then we are seeing now a pullback, which is turning into a bit more prolonged affair, looking for a 1,618 relation between this A down in B up in C. And usually both of these legs should have a 5-wave developments. And in A wave from this low, we clearly see a nice 5-wave move, a 3-wave move down in B, and then from there we are seeing now potentially some type of a wave 3 of 3, or a small triangle here in the wave of 3, and then I think we're gonna start go further and reach 99.2 or even a little bit higher for this dollar move on the upside. And from there, which I will show you on some currencies, I will look for a prolonged dollar weakness in 2022, maybe from February. I was thinking we're going to top here around end of November, December 2021, but obviously we are seeing only 3 waves here, which is indicating that this pattern is not complete. We can also exercise here something that can be some expanding ending diagonal, but in any case we are going most likely to see a higher development in dollar lasting maybe January, February 2022, and then from there I would look for a pretty sizable move down in dollar from these levels in whole of 2022 and maybe even 2023. So I will show you that what I see on some currencies, and definitely these levels around 99.02 or a little bit more close to 100 should be carefully watched for a possible reversal. If in any case dollar starts to move and creep higher, that will create a major implication on the world scene, because dollar is still a reserve currency. And then we might discuss that when it happens, but it might have a major implication, because a higher dollar is not very good for the world economy. And we are going to go into that if we see a break of this 99.2 or close to 100 levels further on the upside. So for now, I'm going to look here for a reversal and a prolonged move lower in dollar in 2022-2023. So let me show you that on some of the currency pairs. And this also goes well with gold and a couple of things that we have been looking. And I'm gonna try to show you the whole picture. So here we have Aussie dollar. As you know, Aussie is a pretty risk-on currency. And after a 5-wave move from a start COVID of a crisis, definitely this looks like a corrective movement down to this 0.665, and then every 5-wave move is actually followed by a 3-wave correction in some form, and then we can look for another 5-wave move up for this ABC pullback, which will bring Aussie dollar pretty sizably higher on the upside. And we see that picture all across the spectrum. Our wave count long time ago on a euro dollar was actually looking for another push up in euro against the dollar, and that is most likely to occur very soon when dollar completes its move on the upside. This looks like a 5-wave move on the upside with a small truncation. 5 waves down in A, up in B, and I think we are now potentially actually tracing out another 5-wave move down, which is in possible 4th wave correction, and then I will look for 110 on or 109 for a possible lows in euro dollar, and then from there, if you see a 5 waves up, definitely that will indicate most likely that we are going to see a new cycle in these risk-on currencies on the upside, probably spurred by inflation and inflationary outlook in the 2022 or some other event. We will see what that will be. But you have seen that in Aussie dollar, Euro dollar, and also if you see New Zealand dollar against US dollar, you will see the same picture. So in New Zealand dollar, we also see a 5-wave move up from the lows, which indicates that we are currently in some corrective pullback, which is still ongoing on in one form or the other. This can be an ABC X ABC, or you can squeeze some type of a triangle here. That really does not make much of a difference on the overall picture. The RSI on daily is pretty low, so I will expect very soon this wave 2 or B to be finished, and actually I'm going to expect a developments on the upside in New Zealand dollar against the dollar in the 2022. So we are seeing the similar patterns already in 3 currencies in that regard. I can show you a couple of more. Also, pound dollar looks like a corrective pullback from these highs. So there is a type of a 5-wave move on the upside. This can be counted as an A, flat in B and down in C. So I look a little bit more downside. So across the currency spectrum, we are seeing a possibility that our outlook on dollar in the 2022 will actually be on the downside. So and we can see that in these many currencies that we just went through. Also, when you look this chart of the South African ZAR, you will also see a possibility that after a 5-wave move, we are in some type of a B-wave pullback, and that we're going to see more weakness in dollar in 2022-23. So as you can see, different currencies, either from the main Western countries or the EEM, are suggesting a weakness in dollar, and we can also confirm that in gold. I will just make a small adjustment to the gold chart. So as you know, we have been tracking triangle for a longer time in gold, and triangle works very well. I hope you remember a couple of crypto labs when we were looking for this move up in D, and we have a 5-wave down now in A of E wave, which means that every leg in triangle has to have some form of a 3-leg correction, which we might exactly count here in every of the legs. And then currently I see a small pullback in gold, and then back lower towards 1,725 towards the end of the year, and maybe even January, beginning of January. So as long as these levels that are pretty key, and they are marked here as a support at 1,672 holds, this wave count will be pretty valid. And I will just point out that after this E wave is finished, you should look for a 5-wave move on the upside, which will indicate that the larger move of breaking out in gold will actually start after a small pullback. And if you pair that with all of these currencies that we already saw and weakness of dollar, this has pretty much sense if you look across the spectrum that we are looking currently. So all of these charts kind of come together, and they have a type of a correlation where you can actually pair that with some of fundamentals and see where is most likely that the probability is high that the next direction of a move will be. Okay, I will add one more caveat to this wave count. So I have a reason to think that gold is potentially gonna go even a little bit lower. I will just add this as my secondary wave count. I usually don't have a couple of wave counts. I have 2 the most. So I have my bullish and bearish scenario overall, but as correction is concerned, you need to be prepared that there is a couple of options because the Elliott wave is a fractal, and these fractal are forming different patterns which you need to recognize, which makes somehow and needs a trained eye to actually be on the top of the current development. So I will just introduce this possibility. It's going to stay a very long or bullish gold from a little bit more downward level, and in that case I will count this as an ABC triangle X, which is a very common thing when you have a complex corrections, and then a further continuation down after an X wave is finished in an ABC down to 1,500, 600, and then we can continue on the upside. So in that respect, on gold chart, this will be my key thing. If we see a 3-wave down and a 5-wave move development, for me this pullback will definitely be a sign for me to be more bullish, and I'm going to stay continuing looking this weakness in 2022 on dollar and on and be bullish other currencies and gold against the dollar according to this scenario. Let's just switch shortly to silver. I'm going to show you a little bit also. I've changed this in the regards of a prolonged possible wave C in this possible flat down to this 21 or a little bit lower levels. The bullish wave count from here failed. I mean, it's still not technically, we didn't reach a new low, but looking what the gold is doing and some levels on dollars that we are most likely going to be seeing, we have to be a little bit more just temporarily bearish on silver. So I'm going to look down in A, up in B, down in C, around this zone, and then off we go with the gold, with the Aussie dollar, with the euro dollar, with the pound dollar, New Zealand dollar, and silver further on the upside. So that is my current overlook of all of these assets classes that I'm tracking in regards of the metals and currencies and overall macro picture. So if you have any questions in regards of that, please just put them in a comment. Okay, so let's switch to cryptos, favorite subject to everybody. I'm going to start a crypto outlook looking at the chart that I have been presenting a couple of times. So this is a total crypto market cap, which still has a trouble going up after we posted these levels above 3 trillion. Okay, so let me glare the chart again. I'm still going to look for a possibility that this wave 3 may be completed here. There is a couple of options. It might be completed here, but again, both of these type of things that I'm looking at, either a wave 3 here or wave 3 here, will imply that at least we're going to go down to 1.78 trillion or even further in some type of a consolidation before we start moving higher. Okay, so if we switch that and go to a smaller time frame, you will see that from highs like in Dow Jones, we have made a 5-wave move down. Okay, so on a smaller time frame, if you go and squeeze this, you can clearly see that we have a clear 5-wave move lower, which implies that after a pullback we might continue lower. Okay, so if you count a move down in 5 waves in 1, corrective pullback in a wave 2, a very sharp wave 3, corrective pullback in a wave 4, and a move down in a wave 5 completed here. So this is some type of a flat, or we will go in an A, B, a little bit more upside in C, and that will actually imply that the crypto market cap will face from here or a little bit higher a further continuation on the downside. So we didn't have a wave count invalidation here, so the wave 4 actually didn't trade it in the territory of the wave 2, which is one of the rules in the Elliott wave. The only overlap is allowed it in the diagonal developments, which we obviously do not have here. So this is an impulsive move down, which means that after a 3-wave correction in one or the other form, we will continue lower, which means that at least we're going to have an equal leg as long as we trade below this swing high here, which is around 2.8 trillion. Okay, so usually what we look in the Elliott wave methodology is 0.786 retracement, which is exactly here. Okay, So let me see how we can define actually some of the retracement levels which should hold in general. So let me just do this on the trading view, or this it's a little bit difficult. So yeah, it's around this zone. It comes around 2.8, as you can see. So this is our last resort retracement, where we look any correction to stop. When we look a possibility that we're going to see a reversal, we usually going to look these levels, and if we pass these levels, the wave count, most likely if you don't have a flat, which is the only option which can actually go a little bit higher, will definitely mean that the wave count is wrong, and that we'll have to modify it or look some other development. So for now, I'm going to stay bearish on a crypto market cap due to a clear 5-wave move down, and I'm going to observe this as a correction, which from here or a little bit higher will actually exhibit a further move down in 5 waves. And if we do, for example, if we take this as a high and we do a measure move, we can get to some of the levels on the downside to see where this measured move might complete. Okay, so that will be definitely around 2.12 trillion, where these two legs actually will be equal. If we pass these levels, that I will consider a very dangerous event for crypto, because in that case I will have to count all of this as a 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5, which means, and the same sequence on the higher time frame, on a higher degree, we will see clearly a 5-wave move, which will imply after corrective pullback will even go lower than currently. I don't think we will do, my honest opinion, looking at the current situation. So I will consider this just to be a corrective pullback, from where we might continue to start most likely to go a little bit higher. The next level is at 1.8 trillion, which will actually clarify this as a potential correction before we continue higher. So as regards of the news, not much of a news in the crypto space in the last couple of weeks. Bitcoin bullish trajectory intact, but December pump to 100K looks unlikely. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty kind of a clear. If we don't have some crazy event which can add a couple of trillions. I've been talking on this crypto market total cap many times, as you know. And if you expect a couple of trillions to come so easily in this current macro environment, I think you might revise this outlook, because from where this money should come, they can either come from larger funds, or they can come from actually, if we see a stock market moving lower, we can see some inflows in cryptos, but that will be actually the first time to see this happening. Up to now, cryptos was moving down with the stock market due to a different cross currents, and I think this time will be the same. I don't still see a crypto space to be viewed about the guys who are holding stocks and trading crypto markets, trading the stock markets as a safe haven, and actually a move into a crypto space. I don't think cryptos are on that level in this current moment, and that is a very strong point to make, that this move on the upside or increase in this crypto market cap will probably wait a little bit more better times, but I think definitely it will happen. So I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm staying bullish cryptos. I'm not bearish cryptos. So I just think that we are going to wait a little bit more until actually we start to move further higher. I've been posting some of the things on Twitter. Some of the trend lines has been presented as a counter argument. Okay, I agree, but I don't look at these trend lines as a primary indication. We might get just a pullback down to these levels, which I already looked in a measured move, kind of a poke through this trend line, and then reverse. If we penetrate it a little bit more, that will definitely keep this correction prolonged up to, let's say, March, April next year, from where we can see a start of this fifth wave on the upside. So the picture is relatively clear. We are going to see a little bit more downside, I think, on this crypto market cap, and then we will go from there. So I don't like to go into much of a longer time frame when the situation is a little bit unclear. But definitely what I think is going to, we are going to see a lower levels very soon, and then we will go from there, searching for a possibility where we should actually locate this wave 4 to finish, and a big move on the upside, which I definitely expect in the next at least 2022 to begin move to the upside towards 2023, and reaching some of the levels between 4 and 5, 6, 7 trillion on the upside. So I think that's kind of a very reasonable thing to look when you see all of the environment and technicals. As regards of the Bitcoin dominance chart, I'm still not ready to throw the towel here on Bitcoin. We are seeing Ethereum going higher than Bitcoin, and the Ethereum Bitcoin chart looks bullish, but we are approaching some of the possible targets in this respect. So I will still look this as a 5-way move and a corrective pullback. I'm still trying to search some type of a lows for this B wave, and I'm going to look most likely these alts to go lower against the Bitcoin. So this is still to be seen. We are actually challenging very important levels here, and a break further on the downside, I will have to dismiss this wave count and starts to look a little bit lower in Bitcoin and higher in alts. But I'm still not ready to do that. Okay, so I'm still going to wait a little bit more because we are trading at 786, as I said, the last resort retracement levels, and I want to see how the Bitcoin price will actually do from here on the upside. So you probably want to see more charts. So we are going to start to look we are going to start to look Bitcoin chart and some other charts as we do every time. So let's look all of the Bitcoin chart from the last, and if you see, I pointed out some of the things. I have been confronted by some of the trading guys on my Twitter in regards of this channeling thing. So I think it is nice. I made one observation, which is kind of a reasonable. If you look this trend, kind of a trend line, it works pretty nicely. If you connect these highs to these lows, it kind of gives you a kind of a solid perspective how the Bitcoin fluctuates. You also have different models like stock to flow models, which arguably worked really nice up to recently. The targets has not been met, but in overall stock to flow ratio is a pretty nice model, which has its merits, of course. And I just want to point out to you how this midline was actually very important in the Bitcoin developments. So if you see here from July 2013, we have been going up and then down, and actually this midline made a very strong resistance up to the Bitcoin price, which moved it further lower. And that's completely fine. We continued higher. We also retest a lower level here in this next midline point, continued higher, so we broke on the upside. Then we came back, retest this midline, and then midline actually acted as a resistance. We continued lower. This is a 2018-19. We continued higher, and then again midline acted as a resistance, and we continue lower towards the bigger lower channel trend line. And now again we are facing a resistance in this midline thing, as you can see lately here and here. So we might see, for now it's working, all of this kind of a midline cycle, it's working. And if this is a monthly chart, and if you look, I think that the bullish development towards the 100K and even above will actually require that we see a broke of this midline and kind of a continuation, a little bit of a consolidation, and then a further energy boost on the upside towards the level that we look for a Bitcoin. Just a kind of a useful observation if you see how this channel works from 2013, and I think it has its merits. If you look the RSI, we have stopped around 70%, and we turned lower. I cannot make anything of it so far. So on these higher time frames, I see two supports around 32K, and the next one, of course, it's at 31K, so at 40 and 31K, which I will show you here. And definitely this will be the two biggest supports that I have seen in cryptos overall, not in the whole space, in the whole life of the Bitcoin, but recently. This is the two strongest level, guys, that you need to watch. So 30K, which is in green line here, and 40K, which is, I think, one of the strongest supports. If you see how actually the price action moved around it, lean onto it, either we were unable to break it, and then we broke it, we continued as a support higher. So we might actually experience, pair this with the total crypto market cap, a move down close to 40K, and then some type of this, possibly a flat or some other structure in a triangle can be complete, and we can continue higher from February to March, April 2022. So this will pair up pretty nicely with the crypto overall total market cap, as I shown. So we're going to get a three-way pullback, and then we're going to continue higher. So that is one of the things I'm looking currently. If you look the smaller time frame on the Bitcoin, we have seen a five-way move up. I must admit the things are not that clear from me, just from the perspective of the Bitcoin in this regards. So as you can see, the smaller time frame, five-way move down exactly as in a crypto total market cap chart, and we are still consolidating here. We were unable to break this channel on the upside, so I think we're going to get a measured move. I have an option that we might go a little bit more higher, 72K, but looking overall, I don't think that will happen. I will mark this for now as the last stop on the cryptos for some time, and then I will look for a continuation on the downside, although I have been presented with this trend line from many technical guys. Usually these trend lines can hold, they can reverse, but I have seen many times this trend line just kept enough the price to move lower for a correction, and then what I have seen is the actually break of this trend line and continuation to the downside. Okay, so be aware of that. If we pass this equality 61, 62K, the probability will be much better that we're going to continue a little bit more upside, and then I will look for a correction. Okay, so for now, I'm still going to stay bearish short term for the next couple of weeks. So let's say 1 or 2 months, maybe January, February, I can still not tell you exactly. And then from there, I will look for a reversal and into a bullish crypto developments towards the end of 2022. On the higher time frame, as you know, guys, I'm pretty bullish Bitcoin. So let me just be clear, because I have seen some comments that people actually label me as a guy who is bearish bearish cryptos. I'm not at all bearish cryptos. I'm actually very bullish Bitcoin price. I'm just looking, and has been if you take my crypto labs from February, March last year, especially in May, I have been warning of this pullback. I didn't get the exact top, but I was pretty close, and majority of markets was looking for 100, 200K back in March, May, if you remember, and as well now, which we still don't see. So as you know, I'm very moderate around my analysis, and I use pretty sophisticated tools for analysis. So I still don't think it's a time. I'm looking this as some type of a wave 4. development still, but I'm gonna stay bullish, very bullish on cryptos once this possible correction is over, and that we're gonna creep higher towards 120, even 150K on the upside for now. Okay, so I am going to stay bullish. I'm just waiting a little bit more developments here before we start to move higher. The same thing I see in Ether. So this is the bullish wave count, which kind of suggests immediate bullishness on the upside. I don't think this will happen. Anyhow, I think we are going to maybe see a little bit more upside. We are already failing here. It's not enough to conclude anything, but we didn't trade on the all-time high yet, as you know. So these levels was not crossed. We didn't post a high here for a small margin. And anyhow, if we continue on the upside, I don't think this will last. I think we might get to 5,200, 300, and then we are going to reverse into some type of a corrective pullback that I looked on a Bitcoin. Just to pair that for you, I'm going to look for you the Ether Bitcoin chart, and we have been bullish on that for a long time already now. And what we see in Ethereum Bitcoin chart is the bullish development, which I look either in some type of a flat or already completed correction and the move higher, which might actually complete pretty soon if we get the first target. Secondary target is pretty high, but if you look the whole sequence, this will be a leading diagonal in 1, down in 2. So we are in some type of the primary wave 3 in the intermediary 5-wave cycle. This trend line has kept this consolidation pretty nicely. As you can see, it actually played its role very nicely because we didn't, all of these lows didn't cross substantially this trend line, and now we are creeping higher. There is a couple of possibilities here, but in any case, until I see a 5-wave development up to here, from here or a little bit lower, I'm gonna stay bullish Ethereum against the Bitcoin. At least to this first target, where and from where I think we're going to see a correction. But the overall, this chart suggests that for the next 2022-23, Ethereum might actually be a better play after this bigger correction than a Bitcoin for the last sequence on the upside. So be aware of that. That most likely the Ether, after this correction in this pair of the Ether Bitcoin, might be a better play maybe from June, July 2022 onward in this development here, and the chart clearly shows that. Okay. Okay, guys, so I'm going to show you a couple of other altcoins. We at Trading Analysis look so many altcoins for our members. I believe me, sometimes I don't know where my head is. I have so many requests also for charts, because we do charts for individual cryptos for our members. If you want to check us out, you can go to tradinganalysis.com. The trial is, I think, 27 bucks. So just don't expect me to be a crypto hyper. I'm not. I'm very scientifically based and rooted into the methodology and risk management as well. So let's look some of the altcoins which we have been pretty nicely kind of a tracking towards our analysis. If you remember, I was very bearish on ADA post this move on the upside. I was also challenged many times regarding this analysis, but actually we have been moving down in ADA. Before we were looking for support here, if break, to go a little bit lower in ADA, but that didn't happen. This developed in a 5-wave move. So I still think, according to the current developments, although the RSI is very low and we have some type of inequality, I will allow myself to stay a little bit more subdued on the bullishness on ADA. I will look this as a most likely some type of the complex correction, and my levels will be around 1.1 to 1, which I will think it's going to be ideal most likely entering point for this 5-wave development. So ADA is still very bullish. In my book, I see 1, 2 up in possible 3, or I will not consider this to be 3, and then this is 1, 2. Wave 2 is pretty much too big to be a part of the lesser degree wave 5. So I'm going to stick with a possible corrective pullback, looking this overall crypto market cap chart. And this will be a little bit lower levels, which will be ideal for a possible developments on the upside in ADA. So ADA for me is still bullish. I think the cycle is still not finished, and I see that on many other cryptos. I don't know which one I can take. The Sand was very popular, so we have been very bullish on Sand. I was looking for 2 targets. First one didn't hold. Actually, it was crossed. So I think Sand also will offer a smaller consolidation before we start continuing higher in Sand towards maybe even 10, 11 on the upside. So this I still look as a consolidation. 4.91 is going to be my levels, or a triangle. And I'm going to go a little bit more higher on Sand before maybe we're going to experience a little bit more corrective pullbacks, because this is a very tricky wave count. As you can see, we have a 1 and 2 pretty nicely developed, and then a wave 3. I will not consider this to be whole of a wave 3. I would like to place it here with a small triangle in a wave 4. It kind of works better, at least for me. But in that respect, I'll observe this as a wave 5, which is still not finished. So I think on Sand, we might have a little bit more upside. What I can show you, our chart on Matic is working pretty nicely so far. So in regards of this crypto market cap, I'm going to look a little bit more upside on Matic, and then reversal either in some type of a flat and then higher target, and or some type of a triangle. Okay, so as you can see on many charts, I'm still considering this just to be a consolidation, and I'm going to stay very bullish on all of these cryptos because the charts and the cycles imply we are still not done. Okay, guys, so yeah, this was pretty extensive coverage, guys. So let me take a couple of requests from you. Maybe I took so much time, guys. I apologize. We had a pause in a week, so I just wanted to update you. How do we track this in a trading analysis, and how you can actually see our perspective on these developments. Okay, Tontron, hello. Livy, hello. We have somebody from China. Hello, I'm doing great. Jamestown addressed me on Serbian. Hello. XRP, yeah, we will go and look XRP. Let's look XRP and what is going on there. So I'm going to take a larger time frame chart of the XRP, and let's go into it. Where is my XRP chart? Okay, I'm going to glare this so you can see it. Yeah, so let's look a larger time frame on the XRP, and maybe we can go even here where we have a more data on the XRP and kind of analyze this chart together. I like to do that with people. Usually this job is somehow lonely. I have Bennett and Terry at Trading Analysis, which are leading stock service, and we usually do couple sometimes to analyze charts together and the overall things. But this job sometimes is lonely, so I like doing things with other people. That's really a great thing. Yeah, so this was most likely a low. This is the chart from 2014. We can count this as a wave 1 and 2, and then 5 waves up in a wave 3. So is this a wave 4 finished? Yeah, potentially it might be. Potentially it can be also a triangle, but the implication will be the same. Most likely 5th wave is still not done. The question is when it's going to develop. This is a pretty sticky thing to count. okay, because you see some type of a leading diagonal in one, down in two, and then you see a 5 waves up, but only a 3-wave move, and then a pullback with the invalidation, okay? So this is not something that I will actually be happy to count. I will be more happy to look this as a potential, either a triangle, which will be kind of a steeper one, something like this. So this will be a wave A, up in B, down in C, or a little bit more down in C. This is actually a wave D and E, a little bit more downside, and then maybe March, February, April, like the other cryptos, we might continue further in this fifth wave on the upside. I will not give it so much predicted levels. I don't think that market cap on the XRP will go that much as people expect, at least for now in this cycle. So if this was the last high, usually a post-triangle thrust will develop in 5 waves, so we might go a couple of times up, but I will not expect 20, 30 as some people are reiterating. So I will be more modest and looking for a fifth wave development in a wave 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5, some around close to between 8 and 10. Even though that is pretty sizable in market cap, I will keep that in a reasonable borders, not looking for some crazy numbers there. If you trace out a triangle here, I mean, it works nice. Most likely, if you look on a higher time frame, I can live with that. Yeah, so sideways consolidation, relatively sharp in the latter part. So it has its merits. That this is some type of a sideways consolidation, a pause pairing this pause after a 5-wave move in a wave 3, very sharp development, and then we are actually preparing to go higher. So definitely I think the XRP will continue higher. Okay, guys, so let me see more. What is more? What is 87G199? Okay, FTM, USD, FTM. Okay, we have a phantom here. Yeah, phantom is actually something which I've looked many times. As you can see, I have marked here a possibility that we are close to end of the wave 5, a little bit higher. I still don't see a 5-wave move down to confirm this reversal, so I will still stay a little bit more in development of the upside, but I can squeeze a 5-wave move up here. So potentially, if you see a 5-wave move down, that will actually signal that we might get on this RSI a little bit lower before we turn again higher. This will actually mark a first 5-wave sequence, and then after a small correction, phantom will most likely continue higher. So the chart is not developing that much after last couple of weeks. So I don't see much of a development here. This also can be a prolonged wave 5. When you have a similarity between the wave 1 and 3, this wave 3 was not particularly big because it lacked to reach 1618. It's 138 most likely. So that gives a little bit more credibility that the fifth wave can be a little bit more extended on the upside. So in that case, if you see something like that and compare with the crypto market overall outlook, this will be a wave 1, move down in a wave 2, down to 1.16, and then maybe a further consolidation, I mean a resolution on the upside, maybe January, February. Let me just give that in perspective, and that will definitely, I will not be surprised to see, okay, in this type of a development. This trend line might cap this correction here, so I will be very worried if I see a longer 5-wave move lower, which will actually come to these levels around 0.5, 0.6, because that will indicate that we are going to go into a ABC pullback, which might reach even 0.12, and then continue higher. So I think these levels should be monitored very carefully, especially around 1.3, 1.5. If you see a pullback and crypto market cap chart do as we think it's going to do, and starts reversing on the upside, the probability will increase that this is actually, it's going to be a longer wave 5 for the completing 5-wave sequence. Okay, so that's my take on the Phantom. Let's go and see SIA coin. Yeah, okay, let's look SIA coin. SIA coin. Yeah, still consolidation. A pretty kind of basic wave count. Sorry guys, pretty basic wave count. So when you look these developments, you can easily kind of just see that we are in some type of a consolidation. So maybe this is a wave 3, so 5 waves down. I will not consider this to be so big on the downside. I will not be surprised as well to see it, but I would like to go with the triangle here. Sometimes this 5 waves doesn't mean, especially when you have a triangles, you will see some one leg on the triangle so sharp. So it can be also a triangle consolidation. If we break these levels, this kind of a line, which will keep this triangle, you can basically secure a little bit more levels. So be careful. Observe this RSI on the weekly level, and you can also do that on a daily. Let me just go on a daily to see where is it. Yeah, it's pretty high, but it's consolidated. So 5 waves down, as you can see, a very sharp reversal on the downside. We still didn't invalidate the basic wave count, so I will be not surprised if we stretch out some type of a triangle here or a little bit more lower levels. But for now, as long as we trade above these levels here, which is at 0.0042, this will stay bullish. This is not enough for me to turn bullish on SIA coin. There is not enough of the established reversal and the clear pattern for me to consider this done and consider this to be immediately bullish. Okay, so I can give you 2 other options. One of them might play out, so we can track that and see. But definitely some point we can recognize the pattern pretty precisely. Okay. Okay, so Ayman, hey Paul Pinder, GBPUSD strength versus USD unusual. Yeah, that has been a very kind of a crazy chart. If you look Euro Pound, that is kind of a non-event. I don't even look this type of charts. I mean, they're pretty crazy with this type of consolidations. I don't know, this can be some type of a big flat, 5 waves down, or an ABC down. We are posting some lows. I don't know what's going on here, guys. I really don't. I mean, this is 2016, 17, so you have 4 years of crazy consolidation. So I usually, when I see this type of charts, I skip them. Who the hell will know? So flip a coin, and who will count this precisely? I mean, it can be only a lucky guess, as I'm concerned. So I don't know. I really don't know what will unfold here until I see some clarity in regards of the impulsive waves. DYDX, I don't know if that is that a crypto. DYDX. Apparently we have some wave count from here. We looked for a leading diagonal. We were wrong, so obviously we made the wrong wave count. As you can see, who knows how much I didn't look at this chart from October 25, but we continued lower. So this wave count was wrong. We were supposing and looking for a 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5, which is an expanding leading diagonal, which are in general very bullish, but we were wrong. And this happens, of course. So I don't see anything developing bullish here because we have only 3 waves up, as you can see. And this looks more like a 5-wave feature. So be careful on this one. This one might even finish a little bit lower. So I don't see, maybe a small correction, but this is not enough for me to exhibit a bullish price action. Okay. Bill Lawrence, hello, how are you? Thank you for being faithful. You come every time to look our observations. IMF or EMF. This is a Tom Cruise organization. Ghost Protocol. Okay. So OJ, what is OJ? Maybe it's another crypto or orange juice. This is the you like me to see the futures or this is Ojamu USD. But yeah, I mean not much of a data here. If you want me to look this crypto, yeah, I mean crazy liquidity, basically no liquidity here. So 3 waves up. So I don't know if this starts to move in a 5-wave. Then after a pullback, you might consider this going a little bit more or further on the upside. That's all I will say. I mean, these charts are not so good to analyze from the perspective of a price developments because we have a small history. But from what I see, I will say just maybe this is a small consolidation. If you see more upside, that will mark a first 5 waves up. And after a pullback, maybe we're going to see a little bit more upside or even further upside. So that will be my take on that. Mbox. Oh, many requests, guys. I don't know if we're going to get all of them. I'm already over 1 hour with you. So, Mbox. Gile. Hey, Gile. Yeah, we're going to see that. Gile. Mbox. Where is Mbox? Alok, we're going to look Matic in the members. Alok is a member, so I'm going to send you that in the members. We're going to look some of the requests of the guys which are not members here. So I'm going to send you that. Mbox. Is that right? Josel Lignant. Mbox. I think I type it rightly, so most likely it's this one. So let me see what this does on a higher time frame. Let's go to weekly. Nice 5-way move, as you can see. So look for a pullback. For now, yeah, up in 1, down in 2, up in 3, maybe triangle in 4, up in 5. 1, 2, up in 3, 4. So yeah, my support levels, usually when I see these charts, I look for a previous wave 4. So you might see and experience ABC, even if it goes a touch higher, because I cannot be sure if this is some type of a triangle, and then 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5. There is a small overlap, I think, here. In any case, either from here and the movement already started, or from just a touch further on the upside, I think this will experience a pullback down to this RSI. So look for the RSI to come lower in the ABC pullback down to 345, which then this might build up further to be bullish. Okay, this is a relatively simple chart in that respect. Gile 23, pozdrav Gile. Hoćeš da vidiš Torchain? Okay, let's see Torchain. Yeah, Torchain still looks like consolidation. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna stay bullish on this one. The 5-wave sequence is still not finished, and intermediary 5-wave sequence is still not finished. Okay, so if you look wave 1 and 2, so we don't have 5 waves up in wave 3. So I will look this as a consolidation in the wave 4, there is only 3 waves up, which indicates we might be in either ABC or a sideways triangle. But on the longer time frame, even if the torching, but the fall from 10 to 5 will be pretty significant. Okay, so be careful. But in anyhow, I will stay. If you are holding the torch chain for the longer period or the longer duration, I will stay bullish up to some of the levels, or this can even turn into an ending diagonal, but anyhow, it's going to finish above 19, 20, 25, even in that case. So I'm going to stay bullish on this one. This consolidation is still ongoing. As you can see, most likely a contracting triangle, down in A, up in B, down in C, D, and E, a little bit more consolidation, and then off we go. So watch for these levels around 7, 8. Break of these levels down will imply a little bit more, either a longer triangle or a little bit more directional correction. But the overall, I will stay bullish on the larger time frame on this one. The cycle is still not finished here, and it has more legs to go on the upside, as you can see. I hope, Gile, you of course you speak English. I wouldn't do that on Serbian because of the other people in here. Alex, Hadera, okay. Hadera hash graph. What is the symbol for Hadera hash graph? I cannot remember all of these symbols. Try to put a symbol always, guys. I cannot remember all of them. So until you do that, I will just quickly go over mana. C. Lewis wants me to see mana. Yeah, we have been also pretty sizably tracking mana on the upside. We had some clients and members which caught a pretty nice move on the upside. But I think the 5-way move actually stopped exactly when we actually, but still not enough to consider reversal. Okay, so we reached the target. 1, 2, up in 3, triangle in 4, up in 5. So we have a move down from our target levels, but still not enough to conclude for the trend reversal. Anyhow, even if we get this on the downside, we will consider that a pullback might be just a pause before we continue higher. So mana is looking good. UMA, okay guys, UMA. Whoa, what the UMA is doing. It doesn't look good. I will look on UMA. So be careful. This implies only 3 waves up, so either a bigger triangle, which I don't think it's the case. So watch the break of the lower, but the RSI is coming pretty lower, so I guess maybe we're going to see even more consolidation in UMA. Watch the break of this trend line on the downside. Will not be a happy event. I think for UMA, this looks impulsive on the upside, and this starts to look corrective. So I still think maybe UMA will make some type of a triangle in B wave, small C wave, and then continue on the upside. Usually that is the case when you see these types of lower RSI and you see the price action still go lower. Okay, so maybe a little bit more consolidation, small push on the downside, and that it's easy. It's not so difficult to look for a 3 wave, but sometimes you don't know if it's going to morph into more sideways affair. Okay, so you need to track it. You need to be with patterns and track them and actively think. So Elliott wave is a pretty active methodology. You need to always question yourself, and there is no definite thing, guys, only probabilities. And Elliott is the tool which actually kind of measures risk and probability for you. If you are skilled enough to look all of this mathematical relation between these things which you see on the graph. We already looked Sand, we already looked XRP. Yeah, Serum is one of the things which I'm going to, in my book, it looks pretty bullish to me. Not maybe now. I'm questioning that because I have something which also I can show you, Crow, and I showed you that last time. We have been pretty bullish on Crow, which actually made a very nice move on the upside. We have been bullish for a long time on Crow because we saw a leading diagonal, which I have just explained in a couple of minutes ago. So I'm still going to stay bullish on Crow. And the similar thing I'm showing you Crow because I saw the same thing on the Serum. Okay, so if you look Serum, it has the same. Oh, sorry, it has the same same pattern. So if you look this wave count, I'm just wondering where the low is going to be. So it is basically the same chart, which implies that we are in the leading diagonal, same as in Crow, 5 waves up with the overlap that's allowed in the diagonal affairs. Is this done? Yeah, it's a gamble. Maybe it is. Maybe we're going to see a 5-wave move and a continuation, or we're going to see some more complex, but definitely the support level will be, the last support level will be at 2.38. Which is going to be my level to look. If we start moving higher, I'm gonna most probably wait for 5 waves or some confirmation and a pullback. But I think Serum overall, given the fact we already actually made this type of structure, looks relatively bullish to me after this consolidation is finished, especially if you took into account what we have seen on Crow, which I have already explained. So similar wave structure. If you look them, a leading diagonal with the wave 4 invalidation. We announced a pullback back in March 2021, which happened, and off you go. As you can see, we jumped pretty severely, more than I don't know how many times from this low. So that I think also might happen on Serum in some point of time. Crypto Cipher, yes, it is possible to get a truncated 5th wave, but that is very a rare occurrence. Okay. Okay, guys, Filecoin. Sachin made it late, just catching up the broadcast. Remind text for the update. Aldex, Sandeep, press the like for Alex. Crow, I already looked Crow, XRP. You can see a cone cycle, it's complete. Yeah, let's see Poloniex. Dimitri is actually suggesting we should see XRP on Poloniex. Let me see if I can find this here. If I don't, I'm gonna find it on TradingView. Let's see the XRP on Poloniex. He's suggesting we might see something on the upside. Poloniex, XRP Bitcoin, XRP USD. Where is the XRP USD on Poloniex? Okay, it's probably here. Let's look this wave structure. Maybe it has more data. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you count this as a 5-wave up, then you will look this as an ABC X ABC, somewhere around 0.07. I don't know if this is a good representative. I don't know. This starts from 2015, and the charts we look starts from 2014. So I don't know if this is a kind of a representative thing. Definitely, I will not exclude that. But as I said, my primary wave count looking to be bullish cryptos. Maybe if the XRP lose the case, it can experience severe drop. But in that case, look break of 0.060706 on the downside. So the RSI is also modest. So I will not say that this is a five-wave move up and that this is a complete cycle. And then, I mean, if you think that XRP will do this, I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm not that. If you think that we are in a third wave and this will go to, I don't know, 1,500, I will not agree on that. I mean, then the market cap of the XRP will be, I don't know, 10 trillion, which for me, it's hard to imagine that now. Okay, so I want to be a little bit more kind of sensible to that. I mean, you can make your wave counts as much as you like and fulfill your kind of outlook or your wish. But I mean, I try to add some sense to it. So for now, I mean, nothing to offend you, but I don't think that is a quite possible thing in the current moment. Overall, macro environment, crypto, where we are, all of that stuff, I don't think the XRP is ready to go to 10 trillion market cap. Okay. L. Michael is warning me. Hey man, you forget Gala. Okay, Michael. Okay, so let's look at Hadera first. Yeah, X bar. Yeah, thank you. I remembered, but yeah, same stuff. I mean, as you can see, my wave count is pretty bullish. I still think we are in some type of a smaller or bigger consolidation, A, B, C, D, E, and that we're going to continue higher in Hadera up to 0.78 or even bigger. The cycle is still on. 5 waves up in 1, down in 2. You can count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A bigger consolidation, but the overall Hadera is going to be bullish for the further development on the upside. And in my point, the cycle is still not done. On the upside, it's going to have a little bit more after this bullish development, more hiccup, and then a further continuation. So it's still at the beginning of its cycle. If you look this chart. Okay, let's look Gala and let's wrap it up, guys. This was a pretty extensive coverage. Yeah, I was in a mood to do it, so. And you all kept it to 1, which I respect very much for, so that everybody can. Yeah, Gala is moving a little bit lower currently, so I still I have an equality here. I could make the case the Gala is in intermediary wave 3 going further higher after a small pullback down to this 0.38, but it needs to go over this equality. So I always look for this measured move as a breaking point or do or die. I mean, it's not do or die, but as a very important thing, I will say. And then a further break of equality will actually prove the third wave exists. Okay, so I can stay bullish still on this one, provided we stop around 0.3837 and continue further on the upside. Okay, it's a little bit still undeveloped chart for me to kind of look this as a higher probability event. So I will just say that look, if we see a correction, look for these 0.37 levels on Gala. Okay, guys, so I think we had enough of the macro and crypto for a couple of days. Thank you very much on the attention. If you want, subscribe. You know the text, you know, I mean, I hate this text, but I have to do it. Sorry, my camera went, so if you want to see more, subscribe and click the like button. Yeah, you know the guys, the drill. Just because of the YouTube algorithm, our channel is not so popular, as you know, because we are not crypto hypers, or I don't know how to call them. And I have received a couple of hilarious tweets, guys. I mean, I have to show you one. I was thinking not to, but there is a guy. Hey, yeah, one more thing. If you like the central banking thing, there is a great podcast done by Jeff Snyder. And this is the other guy, which is a very kind of a reasonable, sensible guy regarding cryptos, Robert Breedlove. And a very nice thing if you want to look, Jeff Snyder, which is one of the rare guys which dives into central banking to the depth and euro-dollar system. And actually, this is a kind of a good insight of the central banking history, what they should do, why they're established, and etc. etc. So I will highly recommend you to look that because it's awesome. And the tweet I received from some guy, it's incredible. I was actually posting this on my Twitter. These crypto guys, some of them are really not very kind of a sound thinking guys, I must say. I posted this on my Twitter for the crypto market cap, 5-way move down, and then he goes, I mean, how crazy you are, not crazy, but how you can even do this? I mean, this guy comes and says Ethereum USD before and after Elliott is a bad analysis. And look what he did. He deliberately went on a crypto lab that we actually tracked Ethereum move down, and it even didn't complete the 5 waves, let alone that we predicted it's going to go further lower. And then he takes this example and actually gives me another chart and actually proves me I'm wrong. I mean, how insane you have to be to go on a crypto lab and go every chart that I made and actually find an example which is not even a good example. At least I mean, find a nice example where I was wrong. I was wrong many times, and that's inevitable, but at least find a nice example. I mean, these things I just can laugh on that. So that's completely crazy. I mean, and I get this a lot on my Twitter page. This guy actually last time was saying to me I was wrong on ADA when actually the zone acted as a ideal place for reversal, and so back and so forth. So this guy gives me a lot of laugh, and I always like to put them publicly. Yeah, I was wrong on Ether. So if you like that. Okay, guys, just a little bit of fun for me at least, presenting you this. So yeah, see you next week. Crypto Lab trading analysis. Hit the like button, subscribe, and stay well, stay healthy. Bye bye. This camera is dropping. I have to solidify it.